setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. So happy you've joined me. Listen, it's almost the 4th of July, and I tell you, I think as Americans we're being screwed. But first of all, I gotta talk to the parents because I've kind of pissed off that you're not paying attention to your kids because they are acting really stupid. I want you to listen to this.
During Pride Month for many obvious reasons, and America sucks right now. And honestly, if you support it and choose to wear red, white, and blue,
you're
and
supporting
be patriotic,
Trump, racism, literally
you're
everything.
supporting all of that, and it's disgusting, and we shouldn't. So don't wear red, white, and blue on 4th of July. Wear rainbow.
Yes. We want this everyone to wear it. We want to see. We don't want to see red, white, and blue posts. Like I don't want to see those Independence Day captions. I don't fucking
caption your posts. Hashtag all countries matter on 4th of July.
Yes.
I want to see
rainbow flags on cheeks.
Seeing everyone wearing rainbows and captions with hashtag all countries matter. That's what I want to see.
And spark.
So, here we are.
Pride Month for many.
These guys won't shut up now. So here we are, a few days to 4th of July, Independence Day, the day that we took back this nation from the Brits. When we became our independent nation and we created our Constitution, Bill of Rights, and we have students saying, don't put on red, white, and blue. Parents, have you not paid attention to your kids and how they have been taught in school? So you see, this starts at school. This starts at college. It starts at high school. It starts at grade school. They get it all the way up. I'm going to tell you a story. 4 years ago, when the elections were going on between Hillary Clinton and Mr. Trump, I was talking to my godchild one day up in San Francisco. And she says, ooh, not Trump. I said, why not Trump? And she goes, because he's racist and he's this. And she went off onto this whole list. I said, where were you told that? How did you get that information? My teacher told me. I was so pissed off when I heard that. I almost walked over across the street and told that school off. But I couldn't because it was closed. Otherwise, I would have done it. This is what's happening is that in our educational systems, our kids are taught to hate America. They are taught that socialism is better than capitalism. They're taught that you have to disobey the thought process of what America is about and our freedoms and our liberties, our Constitution, and they're taught to hate America. That's a very dangerous situation. That's where we're caught up today because we have all of these very young people who are out on the streets and they can't respond to why they're out there, but they're going along with a slogan that says Black Lives Matter, but what they're doing has nothing to do with Black lives. It's regarding anarchy and changing the government system and everything else. The very same systems that provide them with the ability to go out there and demonstrate. But that's the problem, is that our educational system has not been monitored well enough by parents. And that's where we stand today. And if we don't stand up, and if we don't start taking back our schools... I was reading an article the other day, and I can't find it on my Facebook. I wish I could because I posted it there. But it was by a South African, what would you call him? I'm not even quite sure what to call him. Revolutionary. Let's call him that. And the statement was, in summary form, that the only way to create change in the future is by making sure that the children of today are trained in what we want to get done in the future. And he was talking about revolution. He was talking about having these young kids understand that at a very young age that they need to revolt. It's all about revolting. It's a dangerous situation. But back then, even in Marxism, they know that they have to start. They know that it takes years to make change with the thought process of Americans. So they try to start early. They try to start to get these socialist ideals into the minds of young people at school. And we have individuals in schools teaching that should not be there. They literally should not be there. That teacher that was telling my goddaughter that Trump was evil and everything was bending her mind to say that America is no good. Hate the process. Hate the government. But they're always the first ones. If anything happens to them, they're the first ones to call the police to protect them. So strange, our life. So I'm encouraging every single one of you parents that are out there, pay attention to what's going on in your school. If you are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to send these kids to school, you better monitor what your investment is getting you. Because we see what's happening now with the young people that are on the streets, that they don't know what they're talking about. We saw the New York lady who crossed the boundary and went over and started talking to these young kids. And all that they could come back was, the young kids said, "You're a bigot. You're a group of bigots." And they knew nothing about the individuals that were there. And the old lady, she goes, "Is that all you've got? That's all you got, kitty? That's all you got?" We have done a great disservice to this nation by the individuals who are teaching our young kids. And now we're seeing the outcome of it as they riot on the streets. These are Bernie Sanders kids. These are people who thought they were going to get a revolution through Bernie Sanders. But no one in America wanted socialism except these kids, because that's what they've been taught in school. So let's really think about that, okay? Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is the 4th of July. I love the 4th of July. There are two holidays that are my favorite, 4th of July and Thanksgiving. And they both involve food. That is my whole life, food. Excuse me. But we have a problem. We have these beautiful beaches here in Florida, beautiful beaches in California, and the government wants to shut them down on the 4th of July. No scientific reason, nothing. It's screw you, Americans. We're in power. You do what we say, and you're going to do it on the 4th of July. So on the 4th of July, we lose our independence of going to the beach. Which, by the way, we're paying for in taxpayer dollars. Can you imagine that we have politicians out there and government employees who think that they are God when it comes to democracy? They are God in thinking that, listen, you have to do what I say, so do it. No constitutional reason, no scientific reason, which is the most important thing. Is there a scientific reason to block people from going to the beach where they are spread out all over the beach, well spread out for social distancing? The wind is blowing, the fresh air, the sun is burning down, burning up any kind of virus that's sitting out there. But the government says, no, you don't get to go to the beach. You don't get to enjoy Independence Day. You don't get to enjoy time with your family and friends. It's a sad situation when we have these individuals who think they are so powerful that they can take away just the basic fun of life. We know what to do. People are going to be out there with masks and everything on. Some will, some won't. But it's not a situation that government can be in that much control. So on Independence Day, we have no independence because we've got government officials saying, no, you can't go to the beach. You cannot participate in any kind of fun. Stay home. Stay home. Well, we can stay home. We can barbecue. We can do all that stuff. But let me tell you, we're not going to shut down because that's the most stupidest thing ever. That's what destroyed our nation. It became a virus that has become so political that it's no longer a virus anymore. It's a political tool. I say let's storm the beaches. Come on. All of us. Let's get our trunks on. Get a towel. Maybe some suntan lotion. Let's storm the beaches. Let's get in that water and let's enjoy it. Can you believe here in South Florida, the water is so nice and warm, but no one can enjoy it because government says no. We have really become stupid Americans, I tell you. Why are we even bending to this anymore? Because there's no way that you can control a virus like this. It's going to spread no matter what you do. If you wear a mask, you can still touch something and get it. It could still be on your clothing. It could be anywhere. I bet you if you went home right now and you took a swab and you tested even your counters, you'd probably find corona there in some form or fashion. It's our immune systems that are our weapons. As our immune systems become stronger, it fights viruses like this. As our immune systems become stronger, we're able to fight the virus that has been a plague on this United States for way too long now, and has destroyed the economy and even the moral fiber of this great nation. The problem is that the virus should have been taken seriously at the very beginning, in which I think the president did. It's in the States that they overkilled it. And it really hasn't stopped anything. All this lockdown didn't stop it. Don't fool us with that. It's our immune systems that we need to build up. And that means that we go outside, we get our vitamin D, we take our vitamins at home, we get our exercise, we make sure that we're getting enough oxygen within our lungs. We have oxygen exercises that you can do to do that. But to have a government control like this, I think we as Americans, we didn't stand up soon enough. Because at the very beginning, none of the numbers matched. It didn't match. 300 million Americans, and at the very beginning, because I was monitoring this every single day, is that at the very beginning, we had 300 million Americans in the United States. 0.001% were infected. Now we have higher numbers, but still not out of control numbers. And the problem is that we've had so much bad data coming in from the States, bad data at the CDC, bad data at what they were classifying corona and the deaths and everything else. And what has happened is that the death amount has come down because they have gotten new standardizations in how to classify a death under corona. Because so many times people were having heart attacks, but were later found to have corona at the same time, but they died from the heart attack, not from the corona. So we as Americans, we have let the government go out of control. Excuse me. And that is the problem, because we let it happen. We let it happen. It's the dumbest thing ever, isn't it? What really bugged me the other day, and I'm sidestepping now away from Corona. We had these two individuals that were trying to protect their house, and they literally went inside their house, got their guns, and came out onto their front porch because a mob was going through and threatening them, tore down their fence. And then what happens is that politicians start calling them racist for trying to protect their house. I really feel that it's time that we start changing out these politicians. Those politicians that are in support of Black Lives Matter and Antifa and all these other groups, they need to go. Democrat or Republican. If they are unwilling to come out and say, this is a dangerous organization, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, Antifa is a terrorist organization, whatever other organization out there that is creating terrorism on the American people, if these politicians are unwilling to denounce and to condemn, then they should be gone. Black Lives Matter organization is a very corrupt organization. And as I read the list of 629 corporations who are supporting Black Lives Matter, and the grants that they get from the Soros organization of over $300 million, and none of that goes into the black community, it goes to create chaos. That's what that money goes to, is to create chaos. And the rest of the money goes into the Democratic candidates that are running for Congress and the Senate. They get Black Lives Matter. Look at their list on their website. But at the same time, they're creating a dangerous situation in America where they're destroying neighborhoods and businesses, marking up attacking churches, attacking individuals, just plain old Americans. And yet no Republican, no Democrat will come out and say, enough is enough. It's got to stop. And we support the president in trying to stop anarchy in this country. When I see a Republican coming out for Black Lives Matter, I'm wondering, is that guy really a Republican? Because conservative value says no to violence of any kind. But he comes out in support of Black Lives Matter. I'm not mentioning his names because I don't want to give him any publicity. But what I do want to say is that it's time that we begin looking at these politicians and what their core values and moral values are for this nation. And if they do not support the American people and condemn the violence on the American people, then they should not be in office. Not one bit. Because they have no guts. They have no backbone. They're afraid to stand up because they think they're going to lose a black vote. When in fact they'll probably gain a black vote because even the black community does not like Black Lives Matter organization anymore. Go on to TikTok, go on to Facebook, go on to Instagram, and you will see over and over and over again blacks coming out against BLM and Antifa. And also against Democrats. People are beginning to speak out. There was a group yesterday in New York. I was very proud of them. They stood there on the corner denouncing Black Lives Matter, denouncing violence, denouncing anarchy. And we need to see that in more and more of our communities. We need to see Americans standing up. So, I tell you, this 4th of July, I am looking forward to it. Because I tell you, it was that day where we stood up to another nation who was trying to overtax us, who was trying to tell us how to worship, who was trying to tell us everything about our lives in America. And we said, no, enough is enough. We had taxation without representation in Britain. And we said, enough is enough. And we overthrew the British and they had to go home. But the same thing is really happening right now in the United States. We have anarchists trying to fight against real Americans. You and I. Those of us who love the 4th of July. Who love the sight of fireworks and the spending of time with our family and children. Our grandparents. We are so happy for that one day that we can just let go and be very independent. We know we have won our independence. And yet this independence, government wants to shut us down. And that's what we're fighting today, is a government that is overbearing, overtaxing, over authoritarianism. That's what we're fighting against today. But it's within our country. We are fighting for our country against other people in our country because we want America to be just. We want America to be equal. We want America to be under a solid constitution. We want the rule of law. And yet we're fighting against individuals who do not want that. They want to destroy this great country. They want to take down the churches. They want to take down the statues. They want to destroy history. And on the 4th of July, it's a historical day. And that is the day that we Americans come together and we say, God bless America. God bless this great nation. So I'm going to end it right there because that's a good place to end it. Except I want every single one of you to go out this 4th of July. Attack the beaches. Attack the barbecue. Attack the hamburger and hot dogs. Get a big old handful of potato chips. Big old scoop of potato salad. And you sit there and you listen. You listen to the stories around you. And you say to yourself, you know what? Without this Independence Day, I would not be here today. This is Mike Lodge. Listen, if you have any questions or comments, send me a text. Phone number is 818-252-5682. Again, 818-252-5682. And I'll be more than happy. In fact, I want to hear your stories. Send me a text and tell me how great your 4th of July was. With just a few more days to the 4th. And I want to hear your stories of what you have planned. What fireworks that you have bought. And I tell you, in my neighborhood, I have fireworks going off every single night. It started last week. And it has been boom-de-boom-de-boom-boom every single night. And I'm not complaining. Because that sound is the sound of my independence. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
Thank you for listening to Michael Lodge on the WBT. This program has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.